I don't know if she's even with her mother or if she even has the same name anymore. There's days you wake up and you have to question, is she even alive?
Child custody. Those two words can instantly raise anxiety in any parents that have gone through a separation. But in today's case, a father doesn't just feel anxiety, he feels worry, pain, and the weight of having not seen his daughter in 9 years, back when she was only 5 years old. He was on the verge of getting full custody of her when she and her mother disappeared. It's time to turn on the searchlight for Ava Grace Baldwin and her mother, Katie Baldwin. Welcome back to Brain Scratch Searchlight. I'm John Lordan. Thank you so much for caring about these cases like I do. And today we're covering a type of case that we usually don't feature on the channel. By all appearances, a mother has run away with her daughter. But is there more to this story? Let's dive into this together. David Hopper had always dreamed of being married and having a family. And he would reach those dreams, though not exactly in the way that he had planned. David met a woman in Oklahoma named Katie Baldwin back in 2008. Katie, as she was known to those close to her, started up a whirlwind romance with David, and they were soon married. However, the honeymoon did not last long. Just 34 short days later, they were already separated and ready to file for divorce. Katie had some big personal challenges, including a reported history of alcohol, prescription drug abuse, and mental health challenges. After their split, Katie dropped a bombshell on David. She said that she was pregnant, but that the baby wasn't his. A court-ordered DNA test later, David found out that he would actually be becoming a father. This was certainly not how he envisioned his family life coming together, but he was overjoyed that this dark cloud now had some form of silver lining. He wanted nothing more than to be a parent to his little girl, and the couple initially decided to raise her jointly. Ava Grace Baldwin was born on April 16, 2009. Despite the agreement to raise Ava together, soon after she was born, Katie moved from Oklahoma to Texas, putting 7 hours of travel time between herself, Ava, and David. Then, Katie started to disappear for days at a time. The first time, David was able to track her down with the help of his sister, who found Katie's MySpace profile. Things only continued to worsen after the divorce was finalized. In a custody battle that now spanned 2 states, David hired 5 attorneys and spent over $45,000 trying to get custody of Ava. Katie seemingly made things as difficult as possible. Tina Fulbright, Ava's aunt and David's sister, said she'd just jump counties. She'd get in trouble in one county and just move to another. During this time, police records show that Katie used nearly a dozen aliases to hide herself from the law and from David. She was constantly in and out of church missions, shelters, and relationships. The final blow came when Katie was caught by CPS, or Child Protective Services, on a video that was uploaded to the internet. In the video, she was inappropriately performing a solo sex act with Ava not only in the same room, but actually sitting on the bed behind her. Ava was only 2 years old at the time that video was made. David thought that this would be enough for CPS to finally give him full custody of Ava. In the end, he was only given partial custody, and that occurred in May of 2013 when Ava was then 4 years old. Despite the trouble her mother was always in, Ava continued to grow and flourish. As the years went by, she took up cheerleading, soccer, gymnastics, and tumbling. Her father called her his perfect little girl. David was allowed by the court to have her for 1 month in the summer, as well as on holidays. On one of their early visits, David noticed the strange way that Ava spoke to him, and it broke his heart. On one of their drives home to Oklahoma, Ava continually repeated, "You're my daddy. You're my daddy." David went on to say she did not know she had a father. She was in awe that she even had a father. I was kept a secret from her, I guess. In 2015, when Ava was 6 years old, David requested that the court grant him full custody. Neither Katie or Ava were there for the first custody hearing. 6 months later, David got a call that would change his life. On September 17th, he received a call from the private school that Ava attended in San Antonio, Texas. The principal told him that Ava had not been to school in 21 days, and they were wondering if he knew where she was. David reported her missing to the San Antonio police immediately. The school gave officers the last address they had on file for Katie, but when the officers arrived there, they found nothing but an empty lot. At that point, David had no idea where the two of them could be. According to Wikipedia, San Antonio is the 7th most populous city in the United States and the 2nd largest in the southern United States. It's also the 2nd most populous city in Texas, right after Houston. Its population at the time was nearly 1.5 million people. If they were still in the area, it would be like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Investigators believe that when Katie was confronted with the reality of losing custody of Ava, that she fled. For the next 2 years, investigators and David searched for Katie and Ava. In April of 2016, her silver 2014 Ford Escape was found abandoned in a parking lot on Whitby Road in San Antonio. We have no information as to whether or not any promising evidence was found in or on the vehicle, but it does support the thought that she did indeed stay local, at least for a while. Another lead came in that same year when a couple in Florida contacted police to say that a woman fitting Katie's description tried to give them her daughter. Now, just a little side note here. If someone tried to give me their daughter, I would probably say, okay, sure, take the kid and call police immediately. I'm not sure about the conditions of what happened here, what type of situation we're talking about, but just as a tip out there, if you ever have someone that's trying to give their child away, say, okay, fine, take the kid and call law enforcement. I don't know how we have this kind of missed opportunity in this story, but like I said, we don't have a lot of the details. Katie and Ava obviously were not found, but that sighting does give David some hope. In October of 2017, a felony warrant was issued for Katie's arrest on the charge of custody interference. David has since been granted full custody of Ava. There have been several potential sightings of Katie since her disappearance, even as recently as just a few years ago, but to date, neither mother nor daughter have been found. When Katie's family was questioned about her disappearance, they stated that they had not seen her since 2015. However, David feels that Katie and Ava are in hiding. He also thinks that her family and friends may be actively helping them. As Ava's case began to grow cold, new hope came to the investigation when members of the TikTok true crime community claimed to have found the mother and daughter. They pointed to an account called Bebop and Bebe. This mother-daughter team filmed popular trends on the social media platform, as well as songs, parodies, and skits. The two also do bear an uncanny resemblance to Katie and Ava. Soon, viewers became convinced that the young girl in the videos was Ava, and that she was being held captive in the basement of a house. And they had that belief despite several of the videos featuring the duo out in public and attending various functions. When the channel was investigated, it was found that although the mother-daughter team do film on a set in their basement, they were not indeed Katie or Ava. The news was disappointing, but it did give everyone new hope and help raise awareness for this case. Since then, Ava's story has spread even more through social media. David has also started a Facebook page for Ava called Ava Grace Baldwin Hopper Letters to You. In it, he writes her letters and encourages his followers to write to Ava too, in the hopes that she'll someday see it and, at a minimum, know how much she's loved. It's a very unique approach for a missing persons case, but it suits this situation perfectly. Hopefully, someday Ava will find the page and see all the messages of hope and love for her that David and his family have been posting through the years, and maybe she'll even reach out and reconnect with her father and other family members. This page does have strict rules, though. It's solely for letters to Ava. However, there is a separate page for discussion about the case, and of course, we'll provide both links in the details of this video. While I would like to hope that Ava is indeed in the care of people whom she can love and trust, on October 5th, 2023, News Nation interviewed another of Katie's daughters, and she raised a startling point. She would only speak off camera, but she said that she fears that both Katie and Ava were taken and possibly trafficked. She said her mother had a very traumatic life and would often trust the wrong type of men. Today, David does his best to keep hope alive and get his daughter and ex-wife's face out in the public. His sister Tina says, "It's hard to watch my brother go through this. This is his only child. That's all he's ever wanted, a family, and he deserves to have his daughter in his life." David was asked by WHBF.com if he got a call from Ava today, what would he tell her? He simply stated that he would tell her that he loved her and he missed her, and he couldn't wait to wrap his arms around his little girl. At the time of her disappearance, Ava had blonde hair and hazel eyes. She stood around 4 feet tall and weighed around 60 pounds when she went missing. She would, however, be 14 years old today. Thankfully, a few age-progressed composites have been made, and you can see them on screen now. Catherine, Katie Baldwin, stands at about 5 foot 2 inches tall and weighs around 120 pounds. At the time of her disappearance, she had blonde hair, but she's been known to color it and change the styles. Her natural hair color is light brown. She has hazel eyes, as well as a large rose tattoo on her abdomen and hip area. Her nickname is Katie, but she's also gone by the last name of Moore. As we mentioned, she has a history of alcohol and prescription drug abuse. She also suffers from a mental health issue that requires medication, but there's been no record of her refilling those prescriptions since 2015. She and Ava may move frequently and may be staying in women's shelters and or homeless shelters. She may be telling people that she's being stalked. Katie has a felony warrant for interfering with child custody, and her case is being investigated as a non-custodial parent abduction. She's known to have family and friends in Texas, Oklahoma, California, Florida, and Illinois, and she would now be around 48 years old. Please share this video with friends and acquaintances to help us and David raise awareness to this case. Considering where Katie is known to have friends, she could literally be anywhere in the United States. And please, if you have information on where Ava Grace Baldwin or Katie Baldwin is, pick up the phone and call the San Antonio, Texas Police Department at 210-207-7660. If you happen to see Ava or Katie, please contact your local authorities immediately. Since 2015, we have always run limited commercial ads for the benefit of you, the viewers, and the families that we're trying to help. Obviously, we can't do that without support. A big thank you to PayPal supporters Hillary Green, Brandy Fry, and Amanda Beard. If you'd like to help, please visit LordanArts.com. There you can sign up for Patreon, sign up for PayPal, buy merchandise, or even just buy us a coffee like Mike W. recently did. We truly appreciate your support on our mission to run as few ads as possible and help as many cases as we can. Thank you to our sources today, the Daily Mail, the Charlie Project, NamUs, MissingPersonsCenter.org, NewsNationNow.com, KENS5.com, Yahoo News, and Investigation Discovery. All of them contributed to the information that we had for you today. Also, a very big thank you to everyone that is now rallying around David and his family to help support their efforts on this heartbreaking situation. Let's keep those eyes, ears, and hearts open and looking for Ava Grace Baldwin. And let's also keep an eye out for her mother, Katie. I'll see you again here soon on the LordanArts channel.